I'll print out another one.
Great, thank you, Latasha. I appreciate that. Okay, so what's the basics on this section? What do we want to accomplish and close the deal? We want to close the deal. When you get into escrow and we want to reduce that fallout rate for you, well, who knows what the average fallout rate is? If you look at the MRAA book and you're looking at the different formulas, they say about 40% will fall out.
Wow.
So that's pretty high. The longer you're in the business and the more real estate you do, those numbers will go down. But you want to get everything into escrow, you want to get through your due diligence period, and you want to get to closing. Why? So you get paid. So your clients are happy. So there's a successful transaction. So everyone gets to their next step, whatever that is, be the lister, the buyer, or you as the agent. Today you want to talk about the basic steps in the contract to close process. We want to identify your responsibilities when you're representing buyers and sellers. Talk about common issues that can occur in the contract to close process, and really focus on being problem solvers. How do we come out with workable solutions? That is my specialty. That is one of the things I am known for. That when we get, whether it's myself or one of the agents I'm working with, get into escrow, I will exhaust every opportunity to keep that deal together. So sometimes it's just learning new techniques and things that you can do. You may already know them, but if not, hopefully you'll pick up some new things today on how to do that. You want to leverage your resources. Who would be your resources within the company?
Other agents.
Other agents. Who else?
You.
Me. You all have a broker in charge who's assigned to you. So you have one broker that you submit all your contracts to, all your listings. So whomever that is. Who are your brokers? Keone, both of you? Nicole, great.
But Nicole's not a broker, so she's a coach. She's our coach too.
Keone is your broker in charge.
So the broker that we were assigned to for the period until you sell 3 homes, is that your broker throughout, or is that just for that period?
I didn't know you were being assigned a broker for only 3 deals. Typically, if you're in the coaching program, you have a coach for 3 deals.
Yeah.
And so that might be Nicole in the coaching program, or Dan, or one of the other coaches. And I'm not really clear, I'll have to ask her about that as far as the coaching program. But as the company as a general, when you join us, we assign you a broker in charge. So it might be Todd Hudson if you work primarily in South Maui. It might be Lee Potts on the west side if you're in his office. It might have been Marion. It might be Keone.
It's pretty much by office. Hi guys.
Hi.
So yeah, if you're out of Kihei, it's probably Dan Deckness. If you're out of here, it's Keone. If you're out of the west side, it'd be Derek.
They were asking about, is there a different broker after their first 3 deals? And I wasn't aware that anyone was being
No.
assigned for just 3 deals.
No, unless you're working with, unless your coach is Dan Deckness, he would also be able to broker for you if you're not in Kihei, but got it.
Awesome. Thanks, Marion. So yeah, so other BICs or brokers in charge would be resources for you. Other more experienced agents would be resources to you. We have a real open culture of support and sharing ideas, and so most people, if you ask them, they will help you. You want to implement systems, post-close systems, so how you're communicating and staying in touch with those clients after you've closed the deal. That you don't wait a whole year to send them a first anniversary card, or 3 years or 5 years, and they go, oh, they're selling their house and there's someone else's sign in the yard, but they're my client. They were your client through the closing. They're only your client if you keep and nurture that communication. Really, I tell people, focus on relationships, not transactions. Because one relationship can spur a lot of transactions. Maybe you're listing their house and then helping them buy a new property, but they may also want to invest. They may also be a small business person and need commercial space, either for rent or to purchase. They may have children and relatives who want to buy. So it's just always think about that relationship and not just the one transaction. That'll be helpful. All right, any questions so far? Okay. So that's kind of the expectations of what I hope to deliver to you today in the class. The action reveal is the mission of what you're going to go over, which we've talked about already. We're talking about negotiating and keeping your deals in escrow, getting you to closing. Are you all using the daily 10-4 as a tool, that process? Does everyone know what the daily 10-4 is? So you learned it earlier in Ignite.
10 calls.
10 calls a day, 10 notes a day.
10 houses a week.
10 houses a week, 10 contacts into your database. I personally feel that's the most important piece, is the contacts, because that's what's going to allow you to go back and touch them again, create mailings to them, create drip campaigns. The purpose for the 10 homes every week, you can tell me what the purpose of that is.
Get familiar with the inventory.
Exactly. Grow your knowledge. And how does that help you?
When somebody asks you a question or you get in a conversation, you can offer information and look like you have some knowledge.
Well, you will have some knowledge.
Right.
Because you will have been in properties. When I go on Caravan, I try to use Caravan as my core piece to my 10 homes a week. Because usually you can pick up 5 to 10 homes and most given weeks, depending on which Caravan it is. Every time I go in the Caravan, I immediately start to think to myself, and I'll make notes on my phone, who do I know that I can call on this property today? Who's in my database? Who is a buyer I'm actively working with? Who do I know who might know someone for this type of property? So that I'm not just there seeing what a great house it is, or the finishes, or the view, but I'm also thinking about how am I going to tie this into my business and really use that. And like you said also, when you're in the grocery line and someone asks you a question, or at a party, and people are like, oh, well, tell me about this, or someone's thinking of selling their house. Yeah, well, what are houses going for in this neighborhood? You will have an idea, even if you weren't prepared to have that conversation, just because you are constantly in the market if you're always going to a specific regional Caravan. The notes, I think, are an important component. You know, the daily 10-4 works if you do all of the components. So when I was coaching and mentoring agents, when we first opened, you know, I told them, if you can't do 10 a day, break it down to a number you can do, but do all of the components. Because if you just make the calls or you just do the contacts, you're missing the system piece of it. And the system is they all work together. So an easy way that I was able to get agents to implement this was make your call, put it right then into your contact, and have your notes there. Send them a note. Your note does not need to be the story of your life or a book. 3 sentences. A greeting, thank you for taking my call today. You can send your note to the person that you just spoke to on the phone. It was great to catch up with you, or thank you for letting me share my new career. I've enclosed 3 business cards, 1 for you, and 2 for friends or family to refer people to me. So you always want to have a call to action in those note cards, a purpose, but it can be as simple as thanking them for taking your call and sharing your business card. Or it was great to touch base with you again, you know, let's schedule coffee in a few weeks. And then calendar that to call them to go to coffee. Your follow-up, your systems are so important. If you do the daily 10-4, even if you start out dialing it down, or maybe you're only doing 3 a day of each thing, or 5 a day. Some people have other jobs, other commitments. They're transitioning into a full-time real estate career. You will be able to get some leverage and get going. It's when people feel overwhelmed and they're like, oh, I didn't do my 10 notes yesterday, so I gotta do 20 notes today. No, what you did yesterday you did, and what you didn't do is done. Just accomplish your commitment to yourself for today's business. And if you find you consistently cannot do the daily 10-4, dial it back to something you can do. You're better off to execute than you are to beat yourself up that I'm not doing what a visionary like to do. So who's doing the daily 10-4 right now? Because you guys, it's something, one of your exercises during this Ignite series, you're supposed to be doing the daily 10-4 every business day. Has anyone set that expectation for you?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good. So you're all looking at me, so I'm like, you're not hearing this for the first time, are you?
Yeah, no, we've been doing it every day. And
Good.
We've
We've been hearing it
trying.
every day, yeah,
We've
sure.
been hearing it every day. and We've been
We're
doing what we
aware of
can.
the expectation.
Okay, so talk to me, let's start with Erin. Tell me briefly, how is that going for you? Are you doing it, and are you getting into a system of doing it? Or is it scattered, or, and this is a safe space, just speak freely. There's no judgment. I'm not your coach, I'm not your
No,
mother.
well, like you said, I do feel like I don't know, I don't get embarrassed.
Uh-huh.
So
By what?
by like calling people, I'm not really an extrovert.
Okay,
So this is like takes courage for me to like call people.
it does.
So I get courage up, I do a few a day, and then I'm like, all right, I just have to get my courage up again, but like a day will go by. But like I think about it all day. So I just need to be a little bolder.
When do you do it?
I wake up thinking I'm gonna do it right now.
Is it on your schedule?
It is, and I end up
When
doing
is
it
it on your
about
schedule
4.
for?
For 9 o'clock.
Is that every day or just certain days?
No, every day.
So at 9 o'clock on your schedule, do you ever get to your desk at 9 o'clock with everything ready to go to make your calls?
No,
What's stopping you from that?
my 4 kids.
Okay.
So.
I too have a mother of 4. I can say my daughters, 4, are all grown, although 2 of my daughters live with me still, God help me. Great kids, but I'm like, yeah, you're back. So I understand, because I started real estate at 23 here. I've sold real estate on my own 29 years. And I did it as a single mom with kids. My husband passed away when I was very young, and I had 4 kids. And I thought the only way I'm ever going to swim and survive is if I do something that can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So kids, how old are they?
7, 8, 10, and 12.
Okay. So you have your hands full.
Yeah, I homeschool 2 of them,
Okay.
and
The younger 2?
no, I homeschooled all 4 of them the last 6 years.
Oh, you did?
So I just was like, and I'm in the middle of a divorce, and so
Okay.
I just thought, so I put the older 2 in Doris Todd, and so my world's sort of spinning, and I keep thinking, oh, I have to make money, or else I'm gonna be on food stamps, and but I still have this fear, so I just like need to get going.
Get the drunk monkey off your shoulder, get him out of your ear. You have, as a mother of 4, you have everything you need to execute this. Real estate is simple, you just have to do it. And the doing it part is what's hard as far as calls. I'm not real outgoing either. I can sit up here and talk to you all day because it's something that's comfortable, that I know. But when I have to make calls, I have to plan. So the night before, I will figure out who am I calling, what's my call, what's my angle, what am I asking for. This morning I did calls before we had a meeting at 9 o'clock on adding addresses into my database. So if you're working in Command, there's a little icon there that tells you the health of your database, and it tells you what you're missing, and it's like phone number, email address, physical address, purchase anniversary, birthdays. So one day, a couple days ago, I just called people. I was like, hey, I'm updating my database. I was just thinking about you. Couldn't remember when your birthday was last. Oh, it's in July. When is it? July 6th. Great. How are the kids? 3-minute call, 30-second introduction, 2 minutes of meat, 30-second closing. And if you do that, you can get through a significant 12 to 15 calls an hour. So if you plan ahead and you're really clear and focused on what you're calling, and you can segment that time, you don't have to do it all at the same time. You can take your kids to school and come back and do 5 calls. Or 3 calls. Do 3, 3, 3 during the day, or 5 at the beginning of the day, 5 at the end of the day. Don't feel like you have to sit down for hours to accomplish this. So at least you're making the effort. It's on your calendar, good step 1. Get purposeful with, what do I really think I can accomplish each day? And if it's not 10, then reduce that number. And do that consistently for a couple weeks, and then raise it back up. Because I promise you, if you're making 10 calls a day, adding 10 contacts and writing 10 notes, that's 50 of those each week, 200 of each a month. With 600 contacts, you're gonna start to generate some business. And so it's just, that's how it works. It's a numbers game, but you have to do it consistently. So, good job. At least you know what you need to do, right?
Yeah.
So Deb, talk to me about your daily
So,
10-4.
I've been talking to people, not on the phone, but
That's all right.
I'm out a lot.
Great.
And I've run into people and I've been sharing my app and
Great.
so I'm getting their phone numbers.
Okay?
I've been helping with Caravan.
Are you logging their phone numbers? Because I realized when I share the app,
Yeah.
the number goes away.
Oh, it does? Well, no, I'm logging their phone numbers.
Okay, because I didn't do that early on, and
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, they got my app, but I have no way to contact them.
Yeah, and I do have a way to contact them. So that gives me a way to call them in a week and say, well, now that I digitally use the app, what's your email address, what's your address,
Awesome.
and all those things. So that's my plan. Plus, Terry and I have a lot of clients that we sold magazines for many years.
Okay.
We have a lot of clients that we have stayed in touch with, and they're in our database. So we are planning, as soon as we finish Ignite and have a day, we're gonna go back to see all of our clients and talk to them because they're all business people, so you walk into there.
Are you working off one common database?
No, but we have a
We
lot of
have a lot of
overlaps and we're working
overlap.
as partners.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're
And we
doing the
want
same
them to know
activities.
that we're partners.
Have you uploaded all your contacts individually into Command?
Well, this was what I was gonna say when it was my turn, is I feel really stuck about not having infrastructure in place before we move on to do these things. I feel like we're being asked to do these activities to generate possible work, and yet we don't have the infrastructure to support why anybody should work with us.
Okay, so
Nothing's
let me,
uploaded in Command.
so I'm gonna give you the solution to that right now.
Okay.
You can email Scout Leroy Marketing,
I've been told that.
and they will upload your contacts. They just did it for me,
Apparently
an old
there's some
database.
issue on how to input us as a partnership in the system. And so we're just on hold with trying to get that information, trying to get it. So our path isn't been clearly defined, along with a path to choosing a business name. We've already bought 3 domains, found out you can't use the word realty or perhaps even real estate. So until we get answers to those, there just seems to be these start-stops.
Okay.
My personality problem is that I don't want to go present myself.
Who's working on the partnership issue with you here?
Nicole. She said realty's out of the question, she's going to check on real estate. I'm happy to.
But as far as you've been loaded into the Keller Williams system as a partnership.
Well, we haven't. I
We
don't
haven't been
think.
loaded into anything because
Because
it was E-Edge, then it's Command, then they're.
But you wouldn't be able to access either one if you weren't in the corporate
Oh,
system,
we're in, we have.
So you're in the
We're
system.
in
Yes.
separately.
Yes.
individually.
Yes.
You want to be hooked as partners.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And I think we'll have separate databases. They just weren't sure
But
about
a
the
lot
logistics.
of it's gonna overlap too.
Right.
Okay, so-
We want them to know that it's the 2 of us together, and we
We want a business name and a website.
They can call either.
Natasha,
Yeah.
could you give me a blank piece of paper, please? Like a couple pieces of just blank paper? I want you to write down every list that's on your mind and your objections list.
Okay,
And I want you to give it to me at the end of today.
okay.
And then we're gonna figure this out because none of this should be holding you up.
Yeah.
Okay, and I mean.
So we
business
should be
cards
able
have
to,
been
with one call to corporate tomorrow, have you get linked as a partnership.
Okay,
Done.
That would be.
We should be able to tell you exactly what can and cannot be included in a team name.
perfect.
So let me
Thank
be your ombudsman,
Thank
and
you.
we'll work through some of these issues. And this is part of what this whole Ignite series is, because
Yeah.
it's, you do onboarding with us, then this is your Ignite to kind of blast off. I hear what you're saying about, I'm not comfortable yet because I don't have an infrastructure. We're gonna solve all those problems this week.
Okay,
I don't want that to be why you're not doing it, because you could open Command today and say, hey, I met Michelle today, I'm gonna load Michelle in my database, and she is an agent.
Yeah.
Okay, so, or you meet someone who you think might be a great assistant down the road, and you load them in, they are talent, there's a tab to mark for that. You should be able to load people in individually into your individual databases, and then corporate will tie them together. So you shouldn't stop doing those things,
Okay.
but I hear what you're saying, and it's valid concerns.
and part of the issue was just the transition into
Okay.
the Command thing, so that's, I understand that we hit
It is a transition for all of us.
we hit a
Yeah.
difficult time.
I got
Okay.
paid today on a deal, And I'm like, I don't know how to load in this commercial deal because it's all really geared to residential. So I gave Christy my check, said, I'm not sure, I'm done at 4:30 teaching. I will sit down and figure it out. We're gonna call who we need to do,
Yeah,
because someone has the answer.
yes.
And you should not be going days or weeks with these questions. So write everything down
Okay.
that is an obstacle to you doing your daily 10-4.
Thank
Yay!
you.
Yay.
Okay, let's
Happy
just cut
about
through
that.
some of the stuff. Any questions on the daily 10-4 process of reporting out? Okay, great. With only 3 people here, it makes it really easy because you
Yeah.
guys are a small group. All right, so we kind of talked about this. You know why you need contacts? Because you need people to talk to. You need people to know that you're in real estate here in Maui, but that you can also service them, their friends and family, nationwide. You know, your app that you share with Aunt Verna in Massachusetts works for her in Massachusetts. She goes out her front door and says, what's for sale in nearby properties? It's gonna pull all the stuff that's closest to her. You can get a referral fee by recommending a Keller Williams agent in that market to list a property or to represent them as a buyer. And what a lot of our friends and family don't realize is they think, well, you're new in real estate. Well, maybe you are new in real estate, but the person you refer them to doesn't have to be new in real estate. They could be a 20-year veteran. They could be an expert in that market. Don't let that be a limiting factor. You can create a really good income off of referrals. So
I've had a hard time really visualizing how that works though, so we're not there.
Ask a
We don't-
question.
We don't know those people there, so
You don't.
how are you referring them? Do you call them?
I
and get
call them up.
You do?
we
You
have a
actually-
white pages.
Mhm.
When you go into eEdge, on the very bottom right is a square, and there's like 5 or 6 things. It says My Memberships, Explore Memberships. One of those is white pages. And you click on the white pages, you can put in any city or state in the country, and it will give you a list of agents. And you can go in and look at their profile, and you can see what are their designations, how long have they been in the business. Now, in Command, it'll also show you, if they've turned it on, how many deals they've closed in the last year, what's their dollar volume, and their metrics, how many listings do they have. You can look at their listings. I usually look at whatever they gave us in eEdge. I'm just starting to explore this now on Command, as I move my business fully into Command. But I call, because I want to have that one-to-one conversation. I want to know, is this agent a good fit for my client? Because they could be super knowledgeable, but personality-wise, they might not be a good fit. So I don't want to make a decision just off metrics that I see on the screen or on a piece of paper. I want to have that conversation. And I want to share with them what I know about my client, particularly if it's a relationship. I have, not all referrals are great fits or successful. And your client, who you're referring someone to, they might be like, oh, I love this person, it's great. And they might be like, yeah, this person isn't going to work for me. Well, you've already given a referral to that person. So you just have to, really do your due diligence like you do anything else.
Okay, good. I thought that is probably how it would go, but nobody's actually spelled it out.
Yeah.
It just seemed like, yeah, you do a referral to somebody. that
There's
you-
a form,
Okay.
and you write down the information,
Mhm.
and you say what you're willing to pay them, so, or what you're wanting in return. So I'm gonna refer Terry to an agent in California. I'm gonna identify the agent, fill out the referral form with your information, my information, and then I'm asking for a 25% referral. They'll receive it, they'll sign off agreeing to that. Their broker will sign off agreeing to that. If they sell that listing or help that person buy, I get 25% of the gross commission. That check is taken by their broker, their brokerage, and sent to our office.
And where does it come out of? The brokerage fee or the
It
agent
comes
fee?
out of the agent's portion.
So,
The agent's portion. So if they sell $1 million house in California on a 3% split, so one of the sides is 3%, that's 30 grand. Let's say that that agent has a 70% split, they're gonna take your referral off the 30 grand, off the gross, the top.
Okay.
So you're gonna get $7,500. And then that reduces that agent's gross. So instead of having a 30 before they're split, they'll go down to 20,500, 21,500, whatever that number is. And then they get whatever their split is off of that.
okay.
But it's a great way to do business. I send referrals, I get referrals. And it's a chunk of business. I probably did 50,000 last year just in referral business. So, I mean, it can add up. That being said, I've also had bad experiences being with Keller Williams agents.
Oh.
It's about the individual. We do a good job at vetting the agents, but that's why I call. I sent a referral for my mother to buy a property in Phoenix with a mega agent who had a huge team. Well, his team was so huge, they were growing so fast, she was dropping through the cracks. And my mom's on Social Security and retired, and she was only looking to spend $200,000. It wasn't a big deal, very small commission. I ended up flying to Phoenix and finding another agent with another company who represented her because the person I referred her to couldn't give us the time of day. And they're one of the well-known national teams.
Yeah.
So it's not, that's a rare instance, but it happens. And so you not only want to make the referral, but you want to be checking in with the person you're referring. How's it going?
Yeah.
Are you connecting with this person? Are they making appointments? Are you out viewing property? Is the property listed and being marketed for sale? I talk to the referring agent every week. I'm a pain in the ass. They don't really want my referrals because I call all the time because I want to know what's going on. But it's your client and it's your money. This is your business. So you make the rules on what systems you're going to use. For me, I'm high maintenance. I'm high touch on it. So other people, they send off the referral. They never even think about it. They never call. Someday a check shows up. Oh, they ended up selling them something. Great. Free money. It's all in, how is it? I think when you have a plan and you're purposeful, you know where those income streams are coming from, and you don't just have free money one day. So, okay, so you're gonna give me your list before we go.
Yep.
Okay. We talked about note cards, why that's important. Did everyone bring a laptop or a tablet today? Okay, so everyone has contact lists you can call. Okay, have you guys been calling in class?
We have been.
Has it been successful for you?
No. We've had some other things going on too, that we've been having to use that time to make calls because we were showing properties and we had leads. So we were contacting them. And
So was that helpful?
the time was helpful,
Okay.
yeah, to actually have some time in the morning
Yeah.
for when we.
Are any of you using scripts?
Not actually scripts. I like to do the bullet points, know what to get covered in conversation.
Okay.
So I think.
Everyone's style is different.
Yeah, and we've been practicing. We spent 4.5 hours with an agent friend of ours yesterday
Okay.
and did a contract from start to finish on this potential property that we showed.
Okay.
And then she presented it to us, so we got to see what that sounded like.
Oh, good.
But we filled it out.
Okay. Awesome.
So yeah, it was really helpful.
Love that.
So there was some scripting or.
Okay.
role
Who
playing.
uses affirmations? Does everyone know what affirmations are?
Yes.
Okay. Affirmations work.
Okay.
And part of the Ignite series, part of the Daily 10-4 is they want you to start every day with an affirmation. That's a big part of Bold. One of the things they talk about is setting up your workspace and how you have things. What's in front of you is what you're focusing on. And by focusing on that, it expands. So in my office, I have a framed poster that has all sorts of quotes. And they're old people who are deceased, they're icons of the world in different industries, and every day I come in and I sit down for 2 minutes and I read it. Who touches on my soul today? What's important? What kind of goes with me? You need something like that. Whether you have an affirmation generator on your computer that every day you open up your computer, there's a new one there. If you go through Bold, they have cards that have different words on them. So those cards are on my desk, and every day after I read my affirmation, I shuffle through the cards. What's the word of today? How is that going to impact my business? So it helps get you in the right mindset, the right frame of mind, and you want to do that. Today's affirmation is, I feel great about what I am accomplishing every day. Do you believe that? Because Because you could say, I feel great about what I'm
Some days,
accomplishing today.
I was gonna say the same thing.
And you're
Some
like,
days.
yeah, maybe not so, hey, how are you, Bruce? Bruce, do you feel great about what you are accomplishing every day?
No,
Yes.
because I'm hard on myself. I always want to accomplish more.
This is Bruce Baker. Bruce is a member of our Agent Leadership Council. So he helps lead the company through his service there. Welcome. Did you go on? You didn't go to the mainland, did you?
No, I didn't. We have a wedding
Ah,
coming up, so.
well, cool. Hey, Robin. Haven't seen you in forever.
I know.
Oh.
Good to see you.
This is Robin, Bruce's wife and business partner,
Hello.
an agent here with us. So welcome, guys.
Is this commercial?
No, this is Ignite 11.
All right.
Close the deal.
Good. Who's
We
the
like
deal?
that.
We're doing the daily 10-4 lead generation and affirmations, exactly what we're talking about right now, affirmations.
Yes,
So,
very important.
yeah,
All right.
see you soon. So, if the affirmation for today doesn't touch you, find something that does, is just the bottom line of what I'm saying. I've put those two tools in place for me because I come in every day and I'm like, there. I can shuffle through the cards, and every day I don't sit on the same card. Today I might not feel empowered. Tomorrow I might feel inspired. You know, there's different words that make you think about things. My quotes, I love my quote poster, and I sit there and I go through it. I have a watercolor on my desk, which is a tree. It's an abstract tree. It's my profit share tree. I kid you not, walk in my office. First the desk, you sit down. I have 2 desks in there because I used to have an assistant, but I'm probably going to rehire a new assistant. I have the word grateful on my desk. You know, start every day with gratitude. So do what works for you, but put those tools or things in place. Even if it's a sticky note on your refrigerator and your bathroom mirror of your goals, or something inspiring, or something you're working for, that will get you to go sit down and do the daily 10-4. So today's, let's say it together. I feel great about what I am accomplishing every day.
I feel great about what I'm accomplishing every day.
I'm not convinced.
I feel great about what I'm accomplishing every day.
Now I'm convinced. If you called me and said that, I would be like, okay, I hear that. People hear our tone of voice, our happiness level. When we feel good, they can hear that through the phone. Another thing they talk to you about in Bold when setting up your work area is have a mirror in your office, which I have in my office. So that when you're calling, you can be looking in the mirror and smiling, because physically smiling changes the tone in your voice. So all these little things help you get in the mood, even if you wake up in the morning and you're not in the mood.